morning, everyone. We got Gautam in the office today.
Good morning.
Look at that. There he is. It's proof. So, geez, this thing's been getting pretty. Lots in here. Infrastructure as code. Anybody ever heard of Terraform.io? Oh yeah, Adrian, we spoke about that for a second. Anybody have experience with Terraform at all? Infrastructure as a code thing, so it is pretty advanced. I have way too many things open. I can't find any. Automate infrastructure on any cloud with Terraform. So if anybody does know about this, that'd be helpful. We're looking into using it. Eraser.io is also something that we're looking into using more and more. I had Kerman help redesign the CI/CD pipeline, and Gautam and I designed Gautam designed it, but then I helped put it into Eraser, like a testing thing. All these are all automatic tests, and when it passes automatic tests, then it goes to staging, then it goes to manual QA, and then it either gets deployed or returns to the developer. And this is great because you can have like these giant these block diagrams, and then it's super GitHub friendly. Like you can immediately push these to GitHub kind of thing, and including all this documentation and whatnot. So it's, as far as it comes to the whole standardization overhaul we're doing, this is Eraser.io is going to help a lot with communicating ideas. Do we have Wasim in here yet? I don't think so. Apparently, Argo CD is something that Wasim would help us implement. And what else we got? And apparently, Ansible is also something that is in lieu of Terraform. Okay, so and I'm just going to share this again in like the general organization. I think one of the most important books written on how to code in a comprehensive way, called Clean Code. So honestly, a lot of this has to do with Wasim today. Okay. So did that. Okay, let's just get into updates. Ernest, what did you do yesterday and what are you doing today?
Yeah, sir. Yesterday, I got all access for Figma and website version 2. And I cloned the repository and installed the environment for version 2. So I'm now ready to work on version 2. That's it.
Great. Yeah, and Maxim, can you work on that issue where it's not showing up? It's showing up as black right now. So if it must have happened because when I pulled it happened. So if we look at this, I do get pull. I'll do an install. I'm all set up. Should be running normally. I've run. Oh, I'm already running at
Let's check the
3,000.
console. I see the error.
And so absolutely nothing. And even turn.
Check the console. No, this flash image. So let's see. Not says not found. Should not have.
I'll send this to you. Okay. Anyway, well, I'd like to get into Wasim. A few things. One, we would like to block all Chinese IP addresses from creating Turn accounts on the website. So we actually want them for, I don't know, maybe this doesn't fall into Wasim's wheelhouse, or maybe it does. I guess
Yeah,
it does.
actually it does basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Related to, networking things, I'm responsible.
Yeah, but
I
then
can allow
the front
this
end has to do
access.
stuff too, because we have to disable the ability to create an account. But you on your side have to tell us who to disable, I suppose. Right? So we need a little pipeline there.
Sorry, can you repeat? I just missed that.
Well, we want Chinese IP addresses to be able to look at the website and read through it. And we honestly want them to be enticed to use a VPN, right? To dig further. Because eventually we do want to be active in China, but we have to block them at first. Otherwise, they will block us. The whole country will block us. So we just want to make it so that their IP addresses are noticed by our pipeline, and our pipeline decides, okay, this IP address is not allowed to create an account. And one day we will lift that, but not until we have a partnership in China. And so something to look into.
Yeah, it will work same way. I actually, install the firewall where we can, block China's IPs and other IPs if required. And same way we can allow, remove to give some access in future.
Understood.
I will figure it out and I will share my plan with you as well.
Wonderful. Okay, so this is an ongoing thing. We'll just well, I actually do want to use this and be more specific in what I mean.
And complete our resources, our server will not available for Chinese IPs, right? Not only TernKey, assembler server, TernKey server,
The whole, yeah, the entire website, everything.
entire website, right?
Yeah. So when we have the website up and running, I'll explain it more thoroughly as to what they will be able to see and what they won't be able to see. So Adrian, along with Terraform, Zustand, if you want to also dive into that, it sounds like a great stepping stone to an eventual Redux implementation down the line. Redux will probably come to fruition through an entire overhaul of some sort anyway, but having a stepping stone there would be really useful. So what are GitOps pipelines? So this was something really interesting. I was watching Wasim, and I was speaking with Kerman about it as well. I'd like to get him in here. So we were researching a large scale software development. What does it look like? And this is crazy. This is when Maine has its own server, like we do, but it also has servers in different regions. The staging environment has its own server. And when one server goes down, if like one part of GCP goes down, it can use the West Coast server. So this is really advanced stuff that we would love to grow into one day. But for now, it's not necessary, but it is good to have in our minds. And then we have, well, we were looking at CI/CD pipeline, but then we're looking at this deployment pipeline, which is pretty advanced. We have config repos. They're using Argo CD, I think this is called. They have a separate test and QA environment. They're doing all these images. So I'd love for you and Kerman to figure out how to tackle this, how to use Argo CD and whatnot. Do you have experience with this before, Argo? Asim?
Yeah. Actually, my plan is, definitely move to, more specific service like, that all the part you are, seeing in your in this picture. Basically, I will use all the services, all the model, but the thing is, as we are in very initial stage, at this stage, I make it little bit simple and steady. Definitely, I will, when we will scale, I will definitely move all the services as per instructed in or as per our, best practices for scaled app.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, if you want, I should work on it without considering our budgets, so I can work on it as well. But the budget constraint is also available in our, so I always use very less cost services for to make it best possible things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I just want to make sure that we have it in our
Yeah.
heads for the future.
We actually implemented all the things that is mentioned in other projects. I will,
Mhm.
give some views, feedbacks to you as well. But at this stage, we are very in very initial stage. We have no traffic load basically. No
Yep.
one. So it's not the right time. This this thing improve time by time.
Yep. And
In
so
this
another
case-
thing I wanted to go over that we could probably do right now is what Kerman was speaking with me about. He asked, why are you guys using instances for containers, a GKE cluster, Google Kubernetes engine would not only be cheaper but more easily scalable. So Kerman, if there's anything you want to add to that, I know you felt strongly about this point.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kirman.
For scalability and other purposes, I suppose the JK is a better solution for containers. Don't you think, Wasim?
Give me a second, just. Yeah, you are trying to explain that the installation, the server management using the Docker, right? That scale up, scale out automatically as per the traffic load, right? Kirman?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, when I get the this server things, we didn't install the Docker thing, and we actually have the very basic level of compilers things, not a direct Node.js app, not React app. We start with installing the TernKey server, TernKey compiler things, where no Docker installed or all the things. We keep it very simple at this stage. We will definitely move to we use that technologies as well, but the first thing is, if we go to implement the Docker things or a scale as per the modern things, we definitely invest on it. And this is not the right time, as we have very limited budget, and it will happen when we get some funding things as per Gary. I will recommend all the things time to time, Gary. We can this is the time to implement this technology, this framework, this practice. But to keep it very simple, we use simply start with the instances. No need to scale up or scale in technologies.
Understood. Okay. Yep. Just preparing for the future, not necessary.
We have very less, Kirman, we have very less load. I monitor the servers. Very less load, no over no I feel to go with scaling this technology. I will definitely move on it as well.
Sounds good. Okay. So does anybody else have anything for Wasim or Vermont while they're here?
Nothing for now.
I'd like to stay informed on that note, so that just so I could have some information on that. But I know that we're still in the beginning stages of it, so definitely something to think about for later on. So just so that we were prepared for what's inevitable.
Yeah, and I'll just share. This is like a short 10-minute video. I'll share this with you, Wasim, so you get an idea of why I was getting all these ideas. This one's much more generalized and detailed, so I won't share that one with you. But this is the guy who I was like, okay. I really liked what he said about load balancing, which I won't even ask you about right now because I know that's not necessary either. But the thing with load balancing that I feel, remember we would ask you, hey, how do we make it so that if a user is using too much server space, if they're stressing it too much, how do we stop them? How do we cut them off? And you were saying there's not a way that we can do that right now. But it feels like if we had a load balancer, we would be able to target specific individuals that are abusing the system or just using it way too much, and slow down them specifically, instead of what we're doing right now, which is just after they use it 100 times in a day, every time after that, we're going to slow down the website so that they cannot use it as quickly.
Yeah, basically load balancer is not for limitize the user for using the app. Load balancer is if we have capacity, our server have a capacity of 50 users per minute or per second something, and one server, and we get 200 users. Load balancer divide the traffic, like 50 users for server 1, divide to server 1, and 50 more users divide to second server, and same way next 50 go with server 3. This load balancer work in this way.
Yeah, it's also for version updates as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
don't,
is
don't
yeah,
keep
my
any-
app v1 is server 1 and my app v1.1 is server 2.
Mhm. Yep, and they
And
slowly leak
and
in.
we
So
have
that's control.
there is three uh, technology we use, configurations we use in load balancer. One is Robitron. They divide the users uh, uh, you know uh, uh, any server, not keep it the record. The second technology is sequence wise, they send the user load one by one. If one user divert to server 1, the second user divert to server 2. There's
Mhm.
three configurations, but that problem we are actually trying to solve. That's not possible in simply load balancer, but I will do some R&D as well, you know to
Okay,
for you.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
uh,
Well, other than that,
hey,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, your need is actually just limit the users who is actually using too much of like our sources, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so simply what you can do is that there is something called as leaky bucket or something like that, where we have a fixed amount of tokens that is given for each user so per day. So by implementing leaky bucket algorithm, like you can just limit the uses of the users. Like, so we will put the tokens in that bucket. Like, so I'm just saying example. So it's actually an algorithm. So we will put the tokens in the bucket, and for every request, we will just give this token to the users. So in that way, when the token is empty, he will give an additional amount of like it's just maximum 10 tokens or something like that. So we'll notify the users that okay, you are just using the things too much or something like that. So in that way we are actually just, so this is actually something which is very similar to the rate limiter for the APIs actually. So in this way you
yeah,
can just
but yeah, I assume same problem in very start when I get this problem. We have APIs, like we have very clear problems. We face this problem that only 100 APIs is allowed in 1 second, 1 minute, right?
Mhm.
We implement that implementation is very easy, as a user completely ban using our system, and we send the message that your limit has been exceeded and try after some time, right? But
Yeah. Mhm.
we have a problem that if user have put 100 requests per minute, we not limitize the, or we can't send the message and ban the users to use our resources, but we adding some delays in user activities.
Yeah, so you can just
one to
actually
two,
what
yeah,
yeah,
1 to 2 seconds delays in user activities, so we can user can use very feel some delays in the responses.
Mhm. So that's what actually I'm trying that. So to so randomly just storing just token, you can just keep the tokens for each and every users. Like for every users, you can just keep it like 10 tokens per second or something like that, or 10 tokens per minute or something like that. So if it exceeds, you cannot literally say that, but after that, you can just make it as like if the user exceeds this 10 tokens, you can give an additional 5 tokens or something like that to that user. But for that 5 tokens, you can just specifically mention that, like tokens in the sense we can just add some kind of informations to the token.
Yeah, I
So
can
yeah, if it is like the token value is actually something like 0 or 1 or something like that. So like you can, instead of just randomly giving the token, you can set a priority flag. Like in the priority flag you can just mention it as 0 or 1. If it is 1, you can just say that okay, sleep for just 5 seconds or something like that. Okay, that's one method for just limiting. So this is actually normally like in everywhere, like we are actually using this. If you just go to the Facebook and just apply for the Facebook business APIs, so if you just continuously updating some kind of things, you will get you'll experience some kind of delays over there.
Yeah, this is DDoS protections, right?
DOS protections is actually something which is in the cloud server, right? So
Yeah,
I'm just talking about currently in the like solely in the web application. The web application we can control it that.
exactly.
Okay.
But okay, I will def I give same solutions as we record the number of activities, and after the number of activities we add some delays in front end, and user will face some
Yeah.
yeah. I just same things to Manan and Gary as well.
Can I interrupt for a second? Do we need the DevOps to take care of that? Because I believe there's some catching mechanisms that we can use to make sure that we implement that in the back end instead of having to take care of it on the other side, on the
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think there's like some called Redis or Redis that records all of these transactions or these requests and makes sure that it limits it to however, and we can modify it to how many minutes per request and how many requests per user instead of having to deal with it after it's made the requests.
Yeah.
So we should look into that. It's called REDIS.
Redis. Yeah, so normally this rate limiting thing is actually been implemented using Redis, because what the thing is that why we are just using Redis is that, so as we said, as we scale up, we have multiple servers, right? So when we are just putting the load balancer, we have multiple servers. So we need to track all the data. Like, so Redis is actually a distributed in-memory kind of things, in-memory cache or something like that. So it's a memory of the management system where it's actually this memory is available everywhere for the server to use. So in those cases, we are implementing this rate limiter and all of the kind of steps into the in the Redis actually.
Yeah. But yeah, the solution is only possible in app side, not on cloud side. In cloud side, I simply can implement the DDoS things, but this thing will not work in our case. So we will need to handle in our app side as to make sure user limit get the limitations errors after certain transactions.
Yeah. Normally, rate limiting is actually done in the website side, like in the web application. Like I never seen anything. The rate limiting is actually done in the the cloud service, I guess. In a cloud server.
Cloud service on cloud service, it's it's the benefit is it's very easy to implement. But the problem is I can completely ban the users after certain time of period. But this is not out in our, this will not work in our case.
Okay, so honestly, a good amount of like little R&D here and there. A lot of food for thought. Lot of stuff to hold off on for later. But I'm glad we had the discussion about it. But okay, I think are we all set with Wasim? Can we get through rest of Scrub now? All good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Wasim. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. So thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. So we got Ernest, right? We heard from Ernest. Let's check out what we got left here, and we don't have Ashutosh, so that's fine. We'll do without him for now. A few things under review. So Sangeet, what did you do yesterday, and what are you doing today?
So I just completed some kind of things some kind of patchworks here and there for the create password. So I'll create a PR today. And today, actually, essentially, I don't have anything to do, actually.
Well, don't worry. We got
Okay.
you. We got you set up. So we got a different location. Everyone should have access to the website repository.
So one more thing is that actually I'm not able to access this website in Figma, actually.
Can you shoot me your email real quick, Sangeet?
Sure.
Anywhere?
I checked it last night, but I couldn't. I put it in the Teams. I mean the Honey Meet.
Okay, you've been invited to this guy, this puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's sort of in on this.
Sorry to interrupt. Sangeet, I'll send you a task. I have a little side job for you,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
but I'll type it in later.
All
Okay,
right.
so this is the whole thing. This is what the gospel we're looking at for this project. And everything here is from TernKey. They're all old, they're retired TernKey frames. So they are no longer going to be a part of the application. But before we just scrap them and get rid of them, the functionality that operates them is still valid. And so we need to reroute those endpoints to the correct location. So if we look at number one, where Maxim already finished, number one was a change password modal, but all profile settings are now done within the website. So you go to profile and you have all these account credentials. You're able to scroll through all of them, and this is what all of them look like. Each one has edit fields. You're able to make your profile. And if we look, we find that number one
Mm-hmm.
is where you're going to find this endpoint on the front end. It's like, oh, okay, there it is. So that's what these numbers line up with. You can see occurrences tells you how many times it shows up. And that doesn't happen often. But for example, number 3, for number 11, there's 3 occurrences. And that's because inside of that, you do have 2FA, you have change password, and you also have delete account. So that's why number 11, you're able to change your password, enable, and delete account. So we have 3 occurrences for that. And this tells you where it's at for the most part and who it is assigned to. So it shouldn't really take too much explanation as to what you have to do. When you get to number 19, you're just saying, okay, so the delete account confirmation modal, this one shows up in this place on the website. Instead, I have to make sure that it reroutes to the correct location. That's it. Like, it's not, we shouldn't have to be too exact. We're kind of just, it just moved to a different location. And if you're confused, which could happen, then let us know, because we're not doing anything with the front end. We're not touching the front end. We're only moving the integrations, that the functions that we already integrated, to a different place. That's it. We're just moving them to be inside of the website instead of inside of TernKey. There's plenty that are still in TernKey, but these are the ones that move. And almost all of them, most of them are TernKey integration, but you can see down here, we gave Maxim a bunch of these easy ones because these are simply modals. Congratulations, you activated TernKey Pro. These are just modals that have been turned into a toaster instead. So that's why those frames are being deleted from TernKey, because they still exist, but just as a toaster. But the majority of these are function integrations that have to be relocated. And we also have to be careful because Adrian might have a better idea than I do about what can be done first, what your first step can be. So, I mean, Adrian, do you want me to start putting the green dots on other people's things? Because that would let them know what's good to go, so that they don't accidentally do something that has a prerequisite.
Yeah, you can. You can also, just as a forewarning before you start tackling all of this, make sure that you go and if it looks, analyze all the tasks that you are assigned, so that you leave the ones that are related to other tasks for the end. Let's say like delete account or delete an image. Something like upload an image should be like a task like upload image should be first before you go on to the task of deleting an image, right? So all those things that are like, logically we should do first. Like Maxim took care of all the profile information. So everything I think should be fine with it, like with us merging all of these modals or all of these routing to the front end. But just keep in mind that if something is complex and needs certain other routes or endpoints, that you leave that for later so that other things can be, uploaded or pushed to GitHub before you start doing all of that.
Okay. And Manan, your update? You finished backend?
Back. Yeah.
So what does that mean for everybody else? Just but could you explain again what you did so everyone else knows?
Yeah, so I changed the local file storage to Firebase file storage.
Okay. Yeah, so Manan just basically organized the backend much more. So Firebase is the place to go for like all media files.
Yep. All the
And-
keys, media files.
Okay.
Are there things that we need to modify in the front end, or is it just like it's good to go?
It's
We
good.
don't have to
It's
touch
good
it.
to go. You don't have to modify anything in the front end.
Got it.
Okay. And JP, what's your update?
Hello. So yesterday I made a couple of requests for the update cards, and I did some pull request testing. Yeah, and I'm all set up for the website version 2.
Great. And Jomar, how about you?
Yesterday, I finished the remove card integration and just added some feature like resetting the form when the card is successfully deleted. And I did a pull request for remove card also. And for later, I'll check my setup for the website and we'll start with a new task in version 2.
Wonderful. And Gotham, you're good. We know you're studying up on the automated testing, so we'll get updates from you in the future. And Malika, how did you do with the ISO country list? Is that finished up yet?
Yeah, I'm working on it, Gary. Maybe tonight, I'll complete it and I will send you.
Okay, great. And Muhammad, how's the front end coming?
Yeah, I work on recent PRs and then I look into some issues where minor issues reported in modals. So I think so they're almost done. So now I'm looking for new issues. I think so. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, a lot of retests. Need some retests, I suppose.
Okay, I will relook at it. I've done some of the issues in my recent PRs. I will recheck. I may not update the list.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Well, that's Scrum and some. Anything else?
I do. I have one thing to clarify. We're using a lot of toasters these days, and I think I haven't checked the code yet, but we are using a dependency library to use a toaster, but it's not functioning the way that it should. It should pop up from wherever we want it to pop up, right? From off screen for a couple of seconds, and then it goes away. And then some of these toasters are just staying up and visible for the rest of the session. So maybe we can find a way to like modify that and see why it's not functioning the way it should. But just keep that in mind, everyone.
Yep, let's make the toasters right. And let's go about this with as many questions as necessary. Because I know it seems straightforward, but it is kind of but that could be because I know some of us knew this was coming for longer than others. So if you have questions, please ask them. It is just a rerouting. It's not so. It's actually it's much easier than the function integrations were, and it has nothing to do with changing anything on the front end. So it's really just about finding. It's really just about finding locations and then rerouting to those locations. So all of your questions should have to do with location kind of things, and then maybe some bug fixes down the line. But does anybody have any questions before we get off to the races today?
One thing.
Go ahead, Ernest.
So I have seen the task list, and there are so many trust things. So we need a common trust libraries for this specific trust section stuff. Trust stuff.
Right. Like I said, I believe there's already the dependency inside the package JSON, but I might be wrong. But I believe that's what everybody's using. It's just not functioning the way it's supposed to. So if somebody, like, maybe I'll assign somebody to take care of that so that it's directly doing what it's should be doing on all occasions.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Thanks for volunteering, Ernest. It's all yours.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. Thank you, Ernest.
Okay. Then let me do it. Okay. One more thing. This is personal problem. Tomorrow, in our Scrum meeting time, may I have local meeting with my father-in-law. So maybe late tomorrow Scrum meeting.
All right, that's fine, Ernest. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Nope. All right, let's get to it. Listen out for Adrian to throw tasks your way. And ask questions away to Adrian and myself about this whole rerouting thing, so that we don't go in lost and start going down the wrong path. But all right, everyone. Thank you. Talk later.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.